Welcome back to part 2 of my Proto Wing review, and if you haven't seen part 1, you can click here to see the unboxing of this kit. In this part I'm going to be looking at the finished kit, specifically the aesthetics and quality of the kit as well as the gimmicks, which is what Bandai refers to the additional features and mechanisms of the kit, in case you don't know that already. Straight away into aesthetics, and I guess the first thing I should address is the proto aspect of this Wing Zero. This version is a Katoki redesign of the Okawara original TV design, so it's technically not the Gundam from the series, but it really doesn't stray that far from the original design. But with that out of the way, I have to say that this kit looks amazing. The proportions are your typical Hajime Katoki affair, so that right there could make or break this kit for you, with the really long legs to torso ratio and whatnot. I think it works here, but I do wish the shoulders were wider like the original, but that's just my opinion, and the forearms look very lacking and incomplete somehow. The colours used in the kit are great, as you would expect from a master grade, especially the eye-catching clear green of the search eye in the chest. And the included decals really add nicely to the overall aesthetics as well, but I've only used the dry transfers here. The surface detail and paneling is very nice, especially on the lower leg where a lot of it is actual separate panels, which looks great. And that iconic Wing Gundam head with that killer stare looking better than ever on this kit. And lastly, a quick comparison with the Wing Gundam Verka and Wing Zero Custom. Sadly, I haven't got the Master Grade Wing Gundam TV version on hand for this review because mine's still unfinished in its box. The Wing Zero Custom on the right there was the first Gundam I ever built, almost 10 years ago now, typically missing a good portion of its feathers. Compared to the Wing Gundam Verka from 2004, the Proto Zero looks better in almost every aspect. The green clear parts look much better, the surface paneling is much more detailed, and the proportions just look sleeker. But one aspect that hasn't been improved much is the colour separation, being closer to that of the Verka on the right here than some of the more advanced kits available like the new Gundam Verka and the Master Grade Gundam 3.0. A quick spin of both of the kits for a full comparison, and from a quick glance outwardly they don't really differ too much, but that's where the similarities end. The joints, the plastic and the articulation, they all feel superior in the Proto Zero. Moving on to quality. The plastic quality of this kit is superb. It's easy to work with and clean up, and the colours look nice. Good news for the straight builders and bad news for the customizers because the clear parts come in clear green in this one. As you can see in the search eye in the chest there, the camera on the head, and these vents here as well in the chest. And they all look great. With kits like the new Gundam Verka and the Master Grade Gundam 3.0 available, this kit does feel like it's a generation behind when it comes to quality, especially in regard to colour separation. And also, like I mentioned before, there's some nice paneling on this kit as well, especially on the legs, front skirting and inner wings. Next on to the joint quality. And for the most part, the Proto Zero is really solid. All of the joints of the legs, the arms and the wings are nice and tight and will hold most any pose you put them in. But the waist joint is one of those simple double ball and socket joints, which isn't strong enough to support the weight of the wings. So this flops around quite a bit and gets really annoying during posing. So I'd recommend tightening it by top coating or painting the ball of the joint. The design of the shoulder armor also leaves them a bit loose as well. As with a lot of kits with a weighty weapon, the wrist joint sometimes sags a bit when holding the double buster. But you can usually rectify this by changing the angle of the weapon a bit. As for loose parts, the only real problem I had with this kit was after disassembling the head to panel line it, when I put it back together the whole front section of the head, including the antenna and green clear parts of the camera, kept falling out. But I'm not sure if this was the case before I took it apart, but a bit of plastic glue dealt with that quite quickly. But besides this, there's no other signs of loose parts to be seen anywhere on the kit. Next, to look at the gimmicks on the Proto Zero, and first up is a standard you can expect to see on most master grades, and that's moving knee armor. And on this kit, this upper section of the knee armor slides up really nicely when the knee is bent. This upper part here as well can also move up and down, and the knee can bend in the reverse direction back here, which is part of the transformation, as well as this cool rear section of the leg, which moves up and out. Another master grade standard, and that's an opening cockpit. The cockpit design here is quite simple and just slides open like this, and you can see the 100 scale Hero Yui inside in the cockpit. The shoulder armor contains two hatches, one for storing the beam sabers and the other to expose this small thruster, which can also be moved up and down. On either side of the Proto Zero's head are these white hatches which can open up to expose the machine cannons. There's the one on the right and the one on the left. And lastly, there's a mechanism in this section here. To open and close the wings, just pulling one side open here will cause the other side to open as well, which is pretty cool. So that's it for aesthetics, quality, and gimmicks. So far the Proto Zero is quite impressive. Looking great even though it lacks a lot of the aesthetic and technical aspects of some other available Gundam kits. It's a strange time for Master Grade, with some kits getting extravagant aesthetic and design aspects while others just get the basic treatment, with the Proto Zero falling into the latter category, but it's still a great looking kit. So that's it for part 2. Make sure to come back for part 3 where I'll be looking at accessories and posability.